Alright guys, going to jump right in today rather than going through, some waiting music and that good stuff just for the sake of time. Because juggling several things here, so let me kick a link over for those of you that aren't already in here. Let's see. Alright, link shared there. Give me just a second. One more, and then we'll jump in. Give me just a second. And y'all can go ahead and start kicking over into the chat the tickers you want to specifically see, but I'm going to jump in on some of the big tech tickers and talk about a little bit of what happened this morning, and we'll go from there. Let's see. Got that there. Tony's comments. Killing me. Alright, so let me jump in. Okay. So what happened this morning? Combination of things. You had the tariffs yesterday, and what I shared with people yesterday, this was the last couple of weeks, but especially yesterday, was don't trust the movement that you see short term whenever you know there's other bigger stuff going on, right? You need to have consideration for all different directions that are on the charts and what can happen. So this morning, like if I look at SPX, which sorry, there's tons of lines. Let's look at SPY instead. It's a little bit cleaner. This morning, news came in for jobless claims, as well as there was talk overnight of tariffs and the impacts on that. And basically, we opened this morning and everybody was chilling, then just dove off a cliff, right? So, multiple different things going on. You can see we retraced on several of the tickers today, which was good. It was a good opportunity to add longs on some stuff. Big tech tickers, this is what I've been warning about though. Days like today, and this is why I won't swing call options or put options on a lot of these big tech stocks right now. If I hide this so it's a little bit cleaner, I want to show why. Because even with Nvidia and some of these others today, even though we retraced, if you bought calls and stayed in yesterday, the premiums got hammered all day long by theta decay, and then you got up here today, and even though we got almost to where we closed yesterday, your contracts are worth significantly less if you're on calls. So, same thing on quite a few of the tech tickers right here. If you go through and look at them, you'll notice similar price action. Some of them, like Tesla, didn't even recover, which not shocked. If I look at the larger trend and set up on Tesla, this is what I was warning about on Tesla and why I don't pursue calls on that. I'll post a more detailed analysis, but ultimately Tesla needs to be above that 358 level on the weekly in order to truly push over this existing downtrend that it's got going. So, watching this, we'll see what happens. SPY and QQQ. SPY still held up at least on the weekly, but the daily, we're in a potential double top setup here. Overall, setup still bullish continuation on SPY, so looking to see that continue. I'll circle back on a few of these big tech tickers because honestly, looking through them, you're going to see a lot of similar stuff. Apple's one of the ones that actually held strong today. Microsoft probably did as well. Yeah, Microsoft's trying to hold that 414.25 level I was talking about. Big tech will be very interesting to see how it ends the week. February is usually not kind to big tech in general, so we'll see how the weekly candle close looks on quite a few of these. Palantir real quick, let's look at that because I think people panicked after the dive yesterday, which we talked about a lot during yesterday's stream, so you can go back and look at that if you want. But for me, I want to see if it can hold the 100 level. If it can't, what we can see Palantir probably do here is venture into the gap. That being said, it actually held pretty strong when it got the bounce at that $100 level, so we'll see if this actually serves as a reversal. Sorry, I can't talk. Been a long day. We'll see if that serves as a reversal and maybe fills the gap to the upside or the downside. No telling which way Palantir is going to go yet. I'm selling my shares. I'm not selling my shares. If we see what this direction is going to break in the coming days, maybe I sell covered calls to hedge it accordingly, but in the meantime, not going to. Nick said he's going short on eggs. Dude, that is no joke with the price of eggs right now, man. So, let's see. What else do we have ticker-wise in the request queue so that I can make sure I cover quite a few of these? Rivian had earnings in after hours. I don't know whether or not it's going to immediately react, honestly. Most of the time with earnings, things are flat after hours. And that's kind of what we're seeing here on Rivian. It's just kind of chilling in this range, so we'll see. I posted detailed takeaways from their earnings already, just based off the revenue numbers and everything, but we'll see what happens with Rivian. I'm bullish longer term on it, but also acknowledging the bearish setup if we get a rejection and drop. So definitely keep an eye on Rivian. Lots of potential. I will be looking to add longer term calls on it tomorrow. Their IV crush. That's my intent. Absolutely 12. Let me look at Celsius real quick. Because people have been knocking Celsius for weeks, and then look at it over here. Look at this. Just soaring in after hours today. And 12 called out some fresh calls on this sucker. Wow. Celsius is ripping. That's nuts. What are we up to so far? 26% already? Wow. Yeah, y'all can see, so larger term downtrend breakout going on with Celsius. If it can hold, especially if it holds above that 31.96 level, then this sucker is going to be in full-blown reversal mode and probably heading towards all 5 price targets. So keep an eye on Celsius. Massive rip to the upside, huge volume on Celsius, which yesterday had that big, huge gap up, but then today that is, you know what, that might be short squeezing. Hold on. I know they had earnings and whatnot, so I don't know why the internet's being slow at the moment and not loading stuff immediately. It's over gig speed, so let's see Celsius. Loading. I mean, so it's not crazy high short interest and overall short candidate, but it's not terrible either. So some of that's just momentum, it looks like, and overall just reversal. That's a huge fat move. So very curious to see if that can hold up into tomorrow. A bit sad I didn't go ahead and add more calls because I've been wanting to add calls on Celsius, but that's nuts. So keep an eye on that, see what happens. Look through a few of these that pulled back. So Enviz today got its retracement a little bit, but it looks like it's trying to catch a bounce off that support level, so we'll see what happens. Grab is another one that I know several of y'all have been asking about, and sorry, I'm kind of going all over the place as we go through this today. Tomorrow I can do a more structured walkthrough, but Grab's back testing this range that it broke out of previously, so looking for opportunities to add more Grab calls here. I went ahead and entered in some Lotto $5 calls before close today, just in case it does pop off overnight, but they're super cheap. So writing those out. Let's see. What else was on the list over here? So Intel was another good one. If you look at Intel, it actually dropped and bounced at support. So I'm very curious to see if Intel actually can hold its own and push higher here, because it really wants to go fill that gap, right? So quite a few of these tickers dropped hard and bounced this morning. SoFi is another one that I went ahead and add some more shares to it today. I want to see if it can hold this support range here, because it's got this falling wedge breakout that started to play out, but it hasn't fully moved up. Also, full flag on larger time frame, so looking good there. Walmart for Tony. So Tony is trying to hold the uptrend here. It's sketching that support range, and we'll see if Walmart can pull through. Can't blame Trump or tariffs for that drop. It is what it is. Definitely want to hedge long-term holdings if you're going to stay in them. But let's see, BBAI, another good one that looks like it's catching a nice little, it's overall strong uptrend and descending channel it's got going on, and it pulled back a little bit, bounced at that support, and moved to the upside. So I'm looking for, like, here's a good technical example to show y'all. So notice with the price action and the selling here that took place, how the volume was tapering off. This is a clear sign of seller exhaustion occurring. It bounced for the reversal. Now we'll see if buyers step in. What you would like to see in that situation is similar to what we see right here. So see right here where you have this taper on volume down. And I know this sounds stupid simple, but sometimes trading really is that simple. So don't get super complicated with all the indicators and all the fancy stuff and the MACD and the TTM squeeze and all that. You can look at that stuff if you want, but sometimes just keeping a simplistic view will keep you honest when looking at stuff. But look at how the taper of the volume went here, right? It downward taper, even though it was more volume overall in the profile here, the volume profile is tapering down as price action was moving down. And then all of a sudden buyers stepped in and volume starts to peak up, and then rips. Not that it's going to rip that hard every single time, because we all know that BBAI had a huge move that go around. But if you go back and you look at price action movement, supply and demand zones, you'll notice this little consistent thing with the volume profile in correlation to share price happening quite a bit. And it can be a really clear indication whether you're trading day trades or swing trades of potential exhaustion of the given move and maybe leaning in on the prevailing trend. So in that setup right there, you can see now we've got the exhaustion of the sellers coming into play. So what we want to see is buyers step in, strong buying volume increase here, and push to the upside. If it can sustain a very fat volume candle, it could push through and pierce that resistance and supply zone that you got there at 10.07. So keep an eye on BBAI. Definitely a good one to keep an eye on in that range. Let's see. There's a few others that we're in. I'm going to show them. I don't care. So Invis, we talked about. Uber wants to get it to breakout on again. So look how tight this is. Ooh, I know another one. Hold on. Sorry, I'm in squirrel mode clearly at the moment. But Baba. Look at Baba go. So it did finally. Oh, it tagged the upside target this morning. Nice. So Baba exactly tagged the upside target today that we had, right? And it rejected. So that doesn't mean that they didn't, like, I left runners. I haven't entered a new call position, but I've left runners on the call position I was in from this breakout back here, because I still got till March 21st and they're $100 strikes. So those things are like $40 in the money at the moment. So theta's not even a thing on them. But if I see a reversal, full blown of trend, then I might buy a cheap short-term put to hedge the call. But honestly, at this point, I've already covered cost basis on the call position, so I'm just riding it out. But Baba's looking good. Billy's another China-based stock that's didn't top that fully. It's popping off nicely with all the tariff news, right? So had a good strong pop this morning and then pulled back similar to Baba. So that's a good one to look at. Several others you can also look at for China. Trying to also keep an eye on Rivian. I told Hal I would alert him and tell him because he's getting groceries or something for his mom, I think. I want to make sure that if it pops off for whatever reason, I'll let him know. Yeah, it's still trading flat though, so which that's fine. I'm long on Rivian. I'm not worried about the short-term price action, honestly. Other tickers. What's on the list? So Hood, somebody asked me about Hood this morning with its sell-off. So Hood, I would like to see a hold of that support level, and that's a resistance that has now become support on Hood. So ideally, what we see here is a bounce, but I told the people that were asking about this morning I want to wait and see will it hold that support level, because I'm not loving how it's still got strong seller volume on the daily. That's potentially a not so bueno candle pattern as well. That being said, crypto pops off, it'll pull a reverse Uno on the whole everything. So on that note, let's look at crypto real quick. Bitcoin, ooh, Bitcoin's trying to pull out a reversal. Which same thing we talked about yesterday on Bitcoin, it's maintaining the bullish setup on the weekly. So I want to see it break out to the upside, strong volume. Volume's still lacking at the moment on the weekly, but we're early in the week at this point because crypto is not closing till Sunday. So Bitcoin dominance, oh look at that, Bitcoin dominance is also moving to the upside like we've been talking about. XRP, watch this, just because if the Fed or overall if the people don't acknowledge and accept XRP full blown as like a key focus, it's going to potentially do some crap like what it did back in this time frame over here where it took that dive, right? So not saying it will by any means, I hope it doesn't. I still have a lot of XRP, but I'm going to acknowledge both patterns on the chart. I'm not gonna be biased about it. Solana, I don't remember which one of y'all it was asking about Solana, but Solana's looking nice here for a backtest bounce yet again. So wouldn't be shocked to see, ooh, good example from a technical standpoint too. So notice selling price action, volume taper, even on the weekly. So right here, if we can get actually buyers stepping in and volume increasing off this support zone again, that could be a nice solid big move for Solana, and alt season's coming. So definitely keep an eye on that. We jump back over to some non-crypto stuff real quick. Or here, let me touch on crypto stocks because people keep on asking about MicroStrategy. So MicroStrategy is in a very significant consolidation zone right now. It's formed a potential inverse head and shoulders here as well. I've been waiting for freaking ever for this 278.72 gap to fill so I can buy shares, and it just doesn't want to fill the freaking gap. So lots of consolidation in that zone, which is very interesting as well to see in this larger bull flag bullish pennant setup on the weekly and daily candle. That consolidation is awesome, honestly, from a bullish standpoint. So I'm very curious to see what MicroStrategy does out of that range. Coin looks like it's also kind of, making the same movements. It's still upside overall. We just got retracement back to the demand zone at this point. So coin's still looking good longer term. I'm not going to waste y'all's time by going through all the crypto stocks because we all know that they all kind of correlate to what we're seeing on crypto itself. So I'm going to jump over here and look through the list real quick to make sure I don't skip anybody's ticker that they requested. And if you watch the recording later, I can look at your tickers if you just want to shoot me a message or tag me in the lounge on any of the Discords or even on the Facebook groups. Just tag me. I'll take a look at them and either post the charts for you and pull the technical analysis for you or cover them in a review session tomorrow. But Lucid's another one that I definitely want to keep an eye on because I'm seeing some nice, interesting movement there. And it caught a nice little bounce. I should have bought more calls on Lucid this morning, but I held off. So, let's see. SoFi shares looking good. Alts is still banging, so it's got a little retracement, but this thing is still, and yes, I'm in shares on these and many others, but this is the list I started tracking, I guess, last week on fresh share entries. That way people can reference it with the link. But inverse head and shoulders playing out nicely. Serves getting its pullback on at this point. We'll see if it can backtest and hold the support range. Sins maintaining a bullish setup on the weekly as well. Inverse head and shoulders playing out. We'll see if it pushes upside. A lot of digital. This is another one that's been great for smaller accounts, both with shares and calls, just because options are cheap and they pay out very well. So that's looking good. Any other tickers on the request list? Let me check. Catalyst asked on Celsius. So here, real quick, because I showed the levels earlier. It's up to freaking $34. Are we serious? Come on. Don't make me have FOMO like that. Celsius is freaking mooning right now, man. Look at this. Where is anybody still in those calls that I alerted and stupidly took gains on the other day? Let's see. I'm gonna put it on. Actually, it might be in current options. Is where it was previously. I'll put there anyways. 35%. I don't know if you're even at 12. Are you serious, dude? Hold on, I gotta tag you. Sorry, if y'all are just joining in and trying to figure out what I'm doing. So, like, one of the guys in the Discord alerted some calls on Celsius, which reminded me I needed to get in them, and then I slacked and didn't get in them. And I've got to go look and see what these things are at now, because that's nuts if it sustains that move. Oh my jeez. My boy was in the $25 strikes that are now deep in the money. Let me go track this. I gotta see what this thing's up real quick. And they're 328, so you got time. Oh my goodness, man. Look at this. They're up over 220%. Good stuff, 12. You earned an ethical trading t-shirt, homie. So, like, I'm gonna send you a message. We're getting you a t-shirt. It's happening. We gotta get you the shirt. That is absurd. So, sorry, got distracted, derailed there, because that's nuts to see that big of a move like that. Armin's watching too, but yeah. Damn, why didn't I get in more lotto calls on sell? I should have. I knew the movement was happening. Here, I'll show y'all real quick on one of the screeners. If this thing will move quickly. I don't know why it keeps lagging out the initial move, but let's see. Somebody knew. Somebody always freaking knows. Look at this. So with that huge move, somebody right here loaded the freaking boat on March and April calls today. Someone bought right under a threshold so they didn't get flagged. That's interesting. I want to see this. And sorry if y'all are trying to figure out what the heck I'm looking at here. Like, that's crazy. Like, this is where knowing how to watch the options change and seeing the feed and stuff can be really beneficial. And like I told the guys earlier, this one actually, it flagged on my screeners, but I was paying attention to other stocks, so I didn't enter on them. But these calls, for reference, that this person got in at freaking $22 each, or yeah, $22 each is what they got in. Here, let's look at these though. These 321.30s for $116 that they got in. So 321, $30 strike. That person's freaking calls are up 411% right now. So you can math that. That person just turned 400K into millions. That's going to be one of those trades that Unusual Wells will post on their Twitter. Either tonight or tomorrow. I bet you end up seeing that. Actually, I'm going to take a screenshot and I'm going to go tag my dude over at Unusual Wells and give him a shout out for their tool being fantastic. But wow, that's absurd. Um, I was excited for our 220%. I'm sorry, his are up 416% now. So those contracts are now worth over $640 each that person bought $400,000 worth for $116 each. So somebody always knows. That's the kind of crazy thing about the market. You can call manipulation or rigged all you want, but it doesn't matter. That's nuts. I do gotta save the Celsius rocket meme because that is glorious. But alright, any other tickers y'all want me to cover? Let me check the chat channels real quick to make sure I don't skip anybody. Sorry, letting Hal know that I'd covered Celsius on here. Wow, those calls are literally up 430% now that person was in. That's nuts, man. Let's see. Y'all have any other tickers you want me to look at? Let me know. Oh my gosh, these calls this guy is in are freaking ripping. 440%. That's nuts. I'm sorry. I've got to keep on watching this because now I'm invested. Alright, I'm pulling up another list of Celsius stuff real quick because I want to look at this. I want to see what the... Oh my gosh, they broke 450. I'm curious. I'm very curious. Interesting. Oh wow. Lucky him, his calls just broke $7. Interesting. So for those following along, at this point, that fella's 400K is now worth about $2.5 million. So whales always know and are making the gains is basically the moral of the story. It's still ripping. It's over 35. So, yeah, normally on the stream I won't sit here and stare at the same stock over and over again like this, but that one's just like, that's absurd that it ripped that much. It's not all that absurd to see stuff like that flag. That happens pretty often. You'd be surprised how often that happens. Yeah, I can look at mRNA. Let me look for you. Enough Celsius talk at the moment because my FOMO is kicking in. Moderna. So Moderna is one of those that it's diving, and I've seen way too many people, Liz, that have bought Moderna and Pfizer and others since 2020 and 2021 with that mindset that we're going to hit a pandemic and it's going to reverse. And I don't know. I've watched people throw money away time and time again by trying to catch a reversal on Moderna and Pfizer. And like, yeah, you can look at the technicals, but I think that a lot of these companies, unless a major pandemic or outbreak occurs, which I'm not gonna bet on it, even though it could happen, most definitely. Like, just for me right now, that thing is just in a steady downtrend. Oh, Liz likes it for the shorts. I mean, yeah, if you can short it off a good level that makes sense, go for it. I will remind me tomorrow, and I'll keep an eye on it for you and see if there's any setups that make sense on it. It's hard to pursue puts on it in this range because it does look like it's going to tag some support in that level. I mean, maybe an intraday scalp or something, but it does have support. Yeah, support there, which is what that's bouncing off of. So that's an interesting little range. It's down so much. AI. Can't remember if I covered that yet, but I got you covered. Chapito. AKA Analyzer. Agony said that. Hey, so here's the funny thing. The reason why, for those that don't know what's happening right now, Agony said the reason why there isn't many Celsius alerts recently is because Chase did not go to a marathon with his wife and see a bunch of Celsius drinks. Unfortunate. That came from me being at the BMW marathon with my wife in December, and people were knocking Celsius over and over again, but they're like, literally all these athletes are walking around with Celsius because that's what a lot of runners prefer to drink, Celsius and some other stuff, but also they were a huge sponsor. So, like, I get it. Some people don't like Celsius, and I drink it because they gave us a bunch, but, like, there was a lot of presents, and it was just interesting. So that's where that funny's coming from. But my wife, the reason it's really funny is she's running the Fort Worth Marathon this weekend. Or I think she's doing the half for Fort Worth, but she's running it this weekend. So I'm probably going to see some more Celsius, is what I'm trying to say. Unfortunately, it's too late for me because now Celsius is up 38% in after hours, so not going to help me a whole lot in that situation, right? At any rate, so AI, looking for a back test here and bounce off that support range. See if we can move to the upside. Same levels are applying on AI. See what the other ticker is that you requested. Hood, we looked at Hood, so you'll have to go back and look at the video. Rocket Labs, I have not covered yet. I gotta get back to my running. Y'all got me thinking about it now, because I used to be like, alright guys, going to run, look at tickers in a little bit, like in the middle of the trading day, and leave all the lottos running. But I have been slacking on my running for weeks now, months actually. Rocket Lab, I'm not stressed. I know Tony sold some cash secured puts on Rocket Lab. It looks like it's going to bounce. Rocket Lab's maintaining this bullish structure on the weekly and the daily. So as long as it holds this setup, and especially holds that 2282 support, Rocket Lab's looking great. I don't know if y'all follow them on social media and stuff, but Rocket Lab's got a lot of really good stuff going on right now from a business standpoint. So it's rocking. No pun intended, but I guess that kind of happened. Maybe it's a dad joke because I'm a dad. I don't know. Let's see. I think I covered all of the tickers that were requested. So I'm going to wrap up. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, please do. Not to be cliche. Also, feel free to kind of share this video on your socials if you want, and other people can learn some TA from it. But if there's any other tickers y'all want me to cover tomorrow, just reach out. Like I said, any of the Discords I'm in, or message me, tag me in the lounge on any of the Discords. Don't just send me a blank message, because reminder, I will never just randomly message you without tagging you in the lounge or something first, because that's how scammers and spammers do. But on that note, I'm gonna go sign off. I'm gonna go get freaking 12 a ethical trading shirt. Because the dude's banger calling Celsius, he deserves that. So he gets to take his pick at this point. But yeah, I don't know what he wants, but he can pick whatever he wants with that killer call. So, okay. Everybody else have a great night, blessed evening, and we will get in some of those good old 0 day to expiration trades tomorrow because it is Friday. So see y'all tomorrow.